We all agree you don't matter anymore." The words hung in the air like smoke from a gunshot. My fork stopped halfway to my mouth. Around the table at Giuseppe's, our favorite Italian place, the one where we'd celebrated anniversaries and promotions, 8 faces stared at me with varying degrees of guilt, anticipation, and barely concealed satisfaction. My wife Christine sat across from me, wine glass raised slightly, as if she'd just proposed a toast instead of detonating a bomb at our family dinner. I'm 38. Been married to Christine for 12 years. We have 2 kids, Danny, who's 9, and Sophie, who's 7. They weren't at this dinner. This was adults only. Christine's parents, Douglas and Patricia, her brother Andrew and his wife Melissa, my own sister Katie, who wouldn't meet my eyes, and Christine's best friend since college, Vanessa, who seemed to be enjoying this moment far too much. "Excuse me." I set my fork down carefully. My hand was steady. That surprised me. Christine exchanged a look with her mother. Patricia nodded encouragingly, like a teacher prompting a student to continue a rehearsed speech. "We've been talking," Christine said, straightening her shoulders. "All of us. For weeks now. And we've realized that you've become irrelevant. To this family. To our future plans." "Irrelevant," I repeated. "Dead weight," Vanessa added helpfully, taking a sip of her martini. I looked at Katie, my sister, the one I'd helped pay for nursing school when she couldn't get enough loans. The one whose apartment deposit I'd covered when she moved to the city. She was studying the tablecloth like it contained the secrets of the universe. "Katie," she flinched. I think they might have a point." The waiter appeared with impeccable timing, setting down another basket of breadsticks. He sensed the tension and vanished quickly. "Let me understand this," I said slowly. "You called a family dinner, made me take time off work, got dressed up, came to our anniversary restaurant, to tell me I don't matter?" "It seemed like the right setting," Patricia said primly. "Public, civilized. So you wouldn't make a scene," Andrew added. He'd always been a coward. Christine leaned forward. "We've made some decisions about the future. About the house, the kids' schooling, where we'll spend holidays. And honestly, your input isn't needed. You're just there, taking up space." I sat back in my chair. The leather squeaked. Somewhere in the restaurant, someone laughed at another table. Normal people having normal dinners, not having their existence erased over chicken piccata. "Is this about the promotion?" I asked. 6 months ago, I'd been passed over for a senior position at the architectural firm where I'd worked for a decade. My colleague Trevor got it instead. Trevor, who'd only been there 5 years, but who played golf with the partners. "It's about everything," Christine said. "You're stuck. Professionally. Emotionally. You're not growing. You're not providing the kind of life we were supposed to have." "I provide plenty." "The bare minimum," Douglas interrupted. He was a retired attorney, used to courtrooms and intimidation. Christine showed us the numbers. "You make a decent salary, sure. But Trevor makes 40% more. Christine's friend Bethany's husband just bought them a lake house. So this is about money. It's about ambition," Christine corrected. "Or your lack of it. When's the last time you pushed for something? Fought for something? You just accept everything. Accept being mediocre." Melissa, Andrew's wife, nodded vigorously. She'd always been a follower. "You don't even argue anymore," Christine continued. "About anything. You just agree. Roll over. Let everyone else make decisions. You've become invisible." "Maybe I trusted you to make good decisions," I said quietly. "Well, we have. And this is one of them." I looked around the table again. Vanessa was smirking. Douglas looked stern and judgmental. Patricia kept glancing at Christine with approval. Andrew was scrolling through his phone, already bored with the drama. Melissa watched me like I was a reality TV show. Katie still wouldn't look up. "So what now?" I asked. "What's the plan?" "You humiliate me publicly. And then what?" "We go home," Christine said. "And we discuss new arrangements. I've already talked to a lawyer." "You've talked to a lawyer?" "Just preliminary. To understand my options." "Our options?" "The kids will stay with me, obviously. You'll get them every other weekend. The house is in my name. Because my credit score was better when we bought it. I'm the only one on the mortgage." Christine's smile faltered for just a second. "The house is in both our names. Community property. My lawyer says." "Your lawyer says a lot, apparently." "Don't get hostile," Douglas warned. I laughed. Actually laughed. It felt good. "Hostile? You ambush me at dinner to tell me I'm worthless, but I'm the hostile one." "We're trying to do this civilly," Patricia said. "No need to be dramatic." "This is pretty dramatic already, Patricia." She bristled at my use of her first name. I usually called her Mrs. Henderson, at her insistence. "Respect for elders," she'd always said. The waiter returned. "How is everything?" Fine. 8 voices said in unison. He looked at me. I looked at him. Actually, could you bring the check? Dessert menus are. Just the check. Please. He hurried away. We haven't finished discussing this, Christine said. I think you've said everything you needed to say. But we need to. What? Discuss logistics? Figure out how to divvy up my irrelevant life? No thanks. The check arrived in a leather folder. I didn't open it. I pulled out my wallet and placed my credit card inside without looking. What are you doing? Christine asked. Paying for dinner. We should split it. No. This was clearly planned. Rehearsed. Someone should pay for the venue. Might as well be me. One last contribution from the dead weight. Katie finally looked up. Her eyes were wet. Please don't. Don't what? Don't leave? Don't be upset? What exactly am I supposed to do here, Katie? She opened her mouth. Closed it. Looked back down. The waiter processed the card and returned with the receipt. I signed it. Added a generous tip. The poor guy had to witness this circus. Then I stood up slowly, deliberately. My chair scraped against the floor. The sound seemed loud in our little bubble of tension. Thank you all for your honesty, I said. I appreciate knowing where I stand. Where are you going? Christine demanded. Away from here. We need to finish this conversation. No, we don't. You finished it. You all agreed I don't matter anymore. So I'm removing myself from the situation. Seems like the logical next step. I picked up my jacket from the back of my chair. 8 people sat frozen, staring at me. They'd expected something different. Tears, maybe. Begging. Anger. Instead, I was calm. Almost serene. Something had broken inside me during that dinner, but it wasn't my spirit. It was whatever cord had kept me tethered to these people's approval. You can't just walk out, Douglas said. Watch me. The kids are probably with the babysitter you hired. I'll call them tomorrow. Make sure they're okay. This is childish, Patricia sniffed. Probably. But since I don't matter, my behavior shouldn't concern you. I started walking. Made it 3 steps before Christine's voice stopped me. If you leave right now, don't bother coming home tonight. I turned. Looked at her. Really looked at her. She was beautiful. Always had been. But there was something hard in her eyes now. Something calculating. Had it always been there? Or had I just been too in love to notice? Okay, I said simply. That wasn't the response she wanted. Her face flushed. I'm serious. I believe you. I'll get my things this week. You're overreacting. Am I? You just told me I'm irrelevant. That my input doesn't matter. That decisions have already been made about my life, my kids, my home. And now you're surprised that I'm taking you seriously? Vanessa laughed. Actually laughed. This is priceless. Playing the victim now. Not playing anything. Just accepting your assessment. You all agree I don't matter. Fine. I'll act accordingly. I walked out. Through the restaurant. Past the hostess stand. Out into the cool night air. My car was parked 3 blocks away. I walked slowly, breathing deeply. Behind me, I heard the restaurant door open. Footsteps. Wait. Katie's voice. I kept walking. Please, just wait. I stopped. Didn't turn around. What, Katie? She came around to face me. Mascara running. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. They pressured me. Said if I didn't support Christine, I was choosing sides. You did choose sides. I know. But I didn't think. I didn't realize they were going to be so cruel. Yes, you did. You all planned this. Coordinated it. You knew exactly what was going to happen. I thought you'd fight back. Say something. Defend yourself. Why would I fight to stay where I'm not wanted? She wiped her eyes. Where are you going to go? Not sure yet. Hotel, probably. You can stay with me. No. Please. Katie, you sat there and agreed with them. You told me they had a point. About me being irrelevant. You think I'm going to stay with you now? I didn't mean it. Then why say it? She didn't have an answer for that. I started walking again. She didn't follow this time. My car was a 2015 Honda Accord. Nothing fancy. Reliable. Like me, apparently, until I became dead weight. I sat in the driver's seat for a while, not starting the engine. My phone buzzed. Text from Christine. This is ridiculous. Come back. Then another. From Andrew. Dude, you're making this worse. Another from Vanessa, because apparently my irrelevance warranted her attention now. Christine deserves better than this passive-aggressive bullshit. I turned my phone off. Started the engine. Drove. I'd been in this position before, actually. Not exactly this position, but close enough that the echoes were unsettling. 7 years ago, before Danny was born, Christine and I almost split up. She'd found texts on my phone. Completely innocent texts from a female coworker about a project we were collaborating on. But Christine convinced herself there was more to it. We fought for weeks. She enlisted Vanessa's help, showed her the texts. asked for validation that I was cheating. Vanessa, of course, said yes. Definitely cheating. I wasn't. But once Christine decided something, changing her mind was like turning an aircraft carrier. We went to counseling. I showed the therapist the texts. The therapist agreed they were innocuous. Christine eventually backed down, but the damage lingered. Trust cracked like ice on a warming lake. After that, I learned to be careful. Keep work at work. Don't give Christine ammunition. Don't rock the boat. Maybe that's when I started becoming invisible. The hotel I found was a Hampton Inn off the interstate. Clean. Anonymous. The clerk didn't care why a man in slacks and a button-down was checking in alone at 9 p.m. on a Thursday. Room 314. 2 double beds, a desk, a TV. I sat on the edge of the bed and turned my phone back on. 47 messages. 23 missed calls. I opened the text from Christine first. You're being immature. The kids are asking where you are. I told them you had to work late. Call me. Call me. Fine. Be that way. Then the voicemail started. Christine's voice, tight with controlled anger. This is not how adults handle problems. Call me back so we can discuss this rationally. Douglas's voice, stern and commanding. You need to come back and finish this conversation properly. Running away accomplishes nothing. Patricia's voice, disappointed. I raised Christine to expect better from a husband. This behavior is beneath you. And finally, Katie's voice, small and broken. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please call me back. I deleted them all. Ordered room service. A burger and fries. Ate mechanically while watching a documentary about deep-sea creatures. Something about the darkness and pressure felt appropriate. My phone rang. Christine again. I watched it ring. Let it go to voicemail. She called back immediately. I turned the phone off again. In the silence, I could think. The thing was, Christine wasn't completely wrong. I had become complacent. After losing the promotion, I'd retreated into myself. Stopped pushing. Stopped trying to impress anyone. I showed up at work, did my job well, went home, helped with homework, played with the kids, maintained the house. But ambition? Drive? That had leaked out of me slowly, like air from a tire. I told myself it was maturity, perspective, realizing that career success wasn't everything. But maybe it was just giving up. The question was, did that make me irrelevant? Did comfort equal worthlessness? I fell asleep thinking about that. Friday morning, my phone turned back on. 92 messages now. I ignored them all and called my office. Hey, this is Dave. I'm taking a personal day. Maybe Monday too. Something came up. My boss, Leonard, was understanding. Everything okay? Family stuff. I'll keep you posted. Take the time you need. I showered. Changed into the same clothes. I hadn't brought anything else. Drove to Target and bought basics. Toiletries. 3 outfits. Underwear. Socks. Nothing fancy. Just functional. The cashier asked if I was traveling. Something like that, I said. Back at the hotel, I finally read through the messages. Most were variations on the same theme. Come home. Stop being dramatic. You're making this harder than it needs to be. But one stood out. From an unknown number. This is Mitchell Green, attorney at law. Christine Henderson provided your number. I'd like to discuss arrangements at your earliest convenience. Please call my office. So it was real. She'd actually talked to a lawyer. Started the process. I called him back. Mr. Green, this is Christine Henderson's husband. I got your message. Ah, yes. Thank you for returning my call. His voice was smooth, professional. I understand there are some changes in your household situation. Christine would like to begin mediation to discuss custody arrangements and asset division. Mediation. It's often smoother than litigation. More amicable. Better for the children. Right? Amicable. Like ambushing someone at a restaurant. Silence. Then, I'm not privy to the personal details. I'm simply facilitating the legal process. When does Christine want to do this mediation? Next week, if possible. Tuesday afternoon. I'll get back to you. Of course. But please be aware that Christine is prepared to move forward with or without your cooperation. I'm sure she is. Thank you, Mr. Green. I hung up, sat on the hotel bed, thought about what came next. The truth was, I'd seen this coming. Not the exact scenario, not the public humiliation at Giuseppe's, but the general trajectory. Christine had been distant for months. More critical, less patient. Small things became big things. I left dishes in the sink. Suddenly, I was a slob who didn't respect her time. I forgot to pick up milk. Suddenly, I was unreliable and thoughtless. And the sex had stopped. Not slowly. Abruptly. 3 months ago, she just stopped. Said she was tired. Stressed. Not in the mood. I didn't push. Figured we'd work through it. Now I wondered if she'd already been planning her exit. My phone rang. Danny's name on the screen. My heart seized. Hey, buddy. Dad? Where are you? His voice was small, confused. I had to stay somewhere else last night. Work stuff. Mom said you're coming home today. I'm not sure yet, Danny. But it's Friday. You always make pancakes on Friday. God. The pancakes. Every Friday morning. Chocolate chip for Danny, blueberry for Sophie. I know. I'm sorry. I can't this week. Why not? It's complicated, bud. Are you and Mom fighting? Kids know. They always know. We're having some grown-up problems. But it's not your fault, okay? Nothing you or Sophie did. Sophie's crying. She won't say why, but I think she heard Mom on the phone. My chest tightened. Can you put your sister on? Rustling. Then Sophie's voice, thick with tears. Daddy. Hey, princess. Are you coming home? Not right now. Why not? Did we do something bad? No, baby. You're perfect. Both of you are perfect. This is between me and Mom. I don't want you to leave. I know. But sometimes adults have to figure things out separately. I still love you so much. That will never change. Promise. Promise. Christine's voice in the background. Give me the phone, Sophie. More rustling. Then Christine's voice, sharp. You're upsetting them. They called me. You need to come home and explain this properly. Explain what? That their mother and her entire family think I'm dead weight. Don't be dramatic. We can discuss this like adults. I tried that last night. You told me I don't matter. So now I'm acting accordingly. You're being petty. Maybe. Or maybe I'm finally taking you seriously. You've made your position clear. Now I'm making mine clear. I'm not coming back to that house to be belittled and dismissed. You can't just abandon your children. I'm not abandoning them. I'm removing myself from a toxic situation. There's a difference. Mitchell says you're not cooperating. I spoke to Mitchell an hour ago. I said I'd get back to him. That's not non-cooperation. That's taking time to process the fact that my wife hired a divorce attorney without telling me. Silence. Then, quietly, I didn't want it to be like this. Then why did you make it like this? I thought if we all confronted you together, you'd realize. You'd change. Realize what? That I'm not good enough? I got that message loud and clear. That's not. Christine, you literally said I don't matter anymore. In front of your parents. Your brother. My sister. Your best friend. You said it clearly, confidently, like you'd rehearsed it. Which you probably had. So don't tell me that's not what you meant. I meant you stopped trying. Stopped being the man I married. The man you married was an entry-level architect making $40,000 a year. Living in a studio apartment. Driving a car held together with duct tape and hope. You didn't have a problem with that version of me. Because that version of you was going somewhere. He had dreams. Ambition. Now you're just stagnant. I have a good job. I provide for my family. I'm present with my kids. I don't cheat, don't gamble, don't have any addictions. But because I'm not making six figures and buying you lake houses, I'm worthless. It's not about money. Yes, it is. Douglas literally compared my salary to Trevor's. You mentioned Bethany's husband's lake house. This is absolutely about money. She sighed. Fine. Yes, money is part of it. But it's also about drive. Passion. You've given up. I've adjusted my priorities. You've settled. Maybe. Or maybe I realized that killing myself for a promotion I'll never get because I don't golf with the right people isn't worth sacrificing time with my kids. That's a convenient excuse. It's the truth. But clearly, we value different things now. I guess we do. We sat in silence for a moment. I could hear Danny and Sophie in the background, their voices muffled. I'll see the kids this weekend, I said finally. I'll pick them up Saturday morning. Take them to the park, get lunch. Bring them back by 6. Fine. And I'll get my things from the house next week. When you and the kids aren't there. You're really doing this. You started this, Christine. Last night. At dinner. You and your family decided I don't matter. I'm just following through. Mitchell will send over mediation details. Okay. And we need to tell the kids. Properly. Together. Agreed. She hung up. I sat there, phone in hand, feeling nothing. Shouldn't I be sadder? Angrier? Something? Instead, I just felt empty. Like I'd been hollowed out. Saturday morning. I picked up Danny and Sophie from the house. Christine stayed inside, watching from the window. The kids ran to the car, excited to see me. That felt good. We went to the park. The one with the good playground and the pond with ducks. Danny wanted to feed the ducks, so we stopped at a convenience store for bread. Sophie held my hand the whole time. Are you and Mom getting divorced? Danny asked while we watched ducks fight over bread chunks. Probably. Tyler's parents got divorced last year. He has 2 houses now. How's he doing with that? He says it's okay. He gets 2 Christmases. Sophie tugged my hand. Will we get 2 Christmases? Maybe. I just want you to come home, she said quietly. I know, princess. But sometimes that's not possible. Because mom's mad at you? Because mom and I need to be apart for a while. Will you still be my dad? Always. Forever. No matter what. She seemed satisfied with that. We fed the rest of the bread to the ducks and went for ice cream. Danny got Superman. Sophie got strawberry. I got nothing. My stomach was a knot. At lunch, Danny asked, "Do you still love mom?" That's a complicated question. That means no. No, it means it's complicated. I love her. But loving someone and being good together are different things. That doesn't make sense. It will when you're older. That's what adults always say. He wasn't wrong. I dropped them back at 6, as promised. Christine opened the door, took the kids inside without a word. I drove back to the Hampton Inn, where I'd apparently become a long-term resident. Sunday, I drove past our house. The lights were on. Christine's car in the driveway. Andrew's car too. And Vanessa's. I wondered if they were having another meeting about my irrelevance. My phone rang. Katie. What? I need to talk to you. We don't have anything to talk about. Please. Just meet me for coffee. 30 minutes. Why? Because I have information you need to hear. From who? Christine. Not from Christine. About Christine. That got my attention. Where? The coffee shop was a local place, not a chain. Katie was already there, sitting in a corner booth. She looked tired. Older than her 34 years. I sat down across from her. Talk. I'm sorry. Skip the apology. You said you have information. She winced. Right. Okay. So, Thursday night. After you left. Things got really uncomfortable. Good. Christine started crying. Said you'd ruined everything. Made her look bad. Douglas said you were being immature. Patricia said you were probably having some kind of breakdown. Andrew just kept drinking wine. And Vanessa said something. She said, I told you he'd fold eventually. They always do. I waited. Christine got really quiet. Then she said, you were right. I should have done this months ago when you suggested it. Something cold moved through my chest. When Vanessa suggested what? Apparently, this whole thing. The dinner, the confrontation, the lawyer. Vanessa's been planning it with Christine for months. She's the one who convinced Christine you were holding her back. That she deserved better. That she should make a public statement so you couldn't deny or twist things later. Why would Vanessa care? Katie looked uncomfortable. Because she's been through 3 divorces. And she's bitter. And miserable. And she doesn't want any of her friends to be happier than she is. That's insane. That's Vanessa. She's been poisoning Christine against you for at least 6 months. Every little thing you did, or didn't do, Vanessa turned it into evidence that you were failing as a husband. And Christine just listened to her. Christine's always listened to her. Since college. Vanessa's like, I don't know, a cult leader? Christine treats her word as gospel. I sat back. Processed this. So this whole thing is Vanessa's revenge fantasy? She's divorced and miserable, so everyone else should be too. Pretty much. But there's more. More. Vanessa's been telling Christine that she should get everything in the divorce. The house, full custody, half your pension, alimony. She has this whole script planned out. And Mitchell, the lawyer, he's Vanessa's divorce attorney. From her second divorce. He's the one who helped her take her husband for everything. Jesus. Yeah. So this isn't just about you being complacent or whatever. This is a calculated takedown. Vanessa's using Christine to live vicariously through another divorce. Does Christine know that? I don't think so. She thinks Vanessa's just being a good friend. Looking out for her. I thought about Thursday night. How rehearsed everything felt. How confident Christine seemed. Why are you telling me this? Katie looked miserable. Because I've been feeling horrible since Thursday. I went along with it because, honestly, because Vanessa intimidates me. She's so confident and sure of herself. And Christine was so certain this was the right move. I didn't want to be the only one saying no. But after you left, and I saw how they were all acting, it felt wrong. Really wrong. So you're trying to salve your conscience. Maybe. Probably. But also, I don't want to see you get screwed over because Vanessa's playing puppet master. I finished my coffee. It had gone cold. What do you think I should do with this information? I don't know. Get your own lawyer? One who actually has your interests at heart. Document everything. Don't let Mitchell steamroll you. Anything else? Yeah. One more thing. She pulled out her phone, tapped a few times, turned it toward me. I recorded part of their conversation Thursday night. After you left. I don't know. I thought maybe you'd need proof someday. That this wasn't just you being paranoid. I took her phone. Pressed play. Vanessa's voice, clear and cold. Phase 1 complete. He walked out, just like I said he would. Now Christine needs to freeze all joint accounts, change the locks, and file for a restraining order if he tries to come back. Christine's voice, uncertain. A restraining order? That seems extreme. It's strategic. Sets the narrative. Makes him look unstable. Trust me, I've done this 3 times. You need to move fast and hit hard before he gets his bearings. Douglas's voice. Vanessa's right. Strike while the iron's hot. I stopped the recording. Handed the phone back. Send that to me. Katie nodded, fingers flying across her screen. My phone buzzed. The file appeared. Thank you, I said. I'm still sorry. About Thursday. About all of it. I know. I left her there, nursing her guilt and her latte, and walked back to my car. Sat in the parking lot. Listened to the recording again. Strike while the iron's hot. Okay then. Time to strike back. Monday morning, I called a lawyer. Not Mitchell Green. A guy named Frank Chun who my boss Leonard recommended. Frank specialized in men's rights and divorce cases. He had a reputation for being thorough, aggressive, and fair. Tell me everything, Frank said when I sat down in his office. So I did. The dinner. The humiliation. Christine's lawyer. Katie's recording. All of it. Frank listened, taking notes. When I finished, he sat back. You've got leverage. The recording shows premeditation and malicious intent. If this goes to court, that looks very bad for your wife. I don't want to destroy her. No, but you don't want to be destroyed either. And from what you're telling me, that's the plan. So what do? We document everything. Get copies of all financial records. Bank statements, credit cards, investments, retirement accounts. We secure your assets before she tries to drain them. And we prepare a counterfiling. Counterfiling. If she's going to file for divorce, you need to file too. Control the narrative. Show the court you're a responsible parent who's being pushed out by outside influences. Vanessa. Exactly. That recording is gold. It shows your wife was manipulated into this. Now, I'm not saying she's blameless. She still made her choices, but it creates reasonable doubt about her judgment. What about the kids? Shared custody. 50-50. You've been an involved parent. No history of abuse, neglect, or addiction. There's no reason you shouldn't have equal time. Christine wants full custody. Christine's going to want a lot of things. Doesn't mean she'll get them. That's what I'm here for. I signed the retainer agreement. Frank got to work immediately. Tuesday afternoon. Mediation with Mitchell Green. I showed up with Frank. Mitchell looked annoyed. I wasn't informed you'd be bringing representation. My client has the right to legal counsel, Frank said smoothly. Christine was already there, sitting at a conference table. She looked surprised to see me with a lawyer. Good. Shall we begin? Mitchell asked. Actually, Frank said, before we discuss anything, I'd like to address some concerns. He placed a manila folder on the table, opened it, slid several documents across to Mitchell. What's this? Mitchell asked. Evidence that Mrs. Henderson was coached and manipulated by a third party into initiating divorce proceedings. We have recordings indicating that her friend, Vanessa, orchestrated the confrontation that precipitated this situation. Christine's face went pale. What recordings? The conversation after your husband left the restaurant, where Vanessa outlined a strategy to strike while the iron's hot and suggested freezing assets and filing false restraining orders. Mitchell's expression didn't change, but his eyes got sharper. Where did you obtain these recordings? Legally. From a witness who was present. Katie, Christine breathed. My client is willing to proceed with mediation, Frank continued, but under fair terms. Shared custody. Equitable asset division. No attempts to paint him as unstable or dangerous. And Mrs. Henderson will distance herself from outside influences who are clearly more interested in revenge than her well-being. Mitchell looked at Christine. She looked shaken. Can we have a moment? Mitchell asked. Of course. Frank and I stepped outside. We stood in the hallway while muffled voices came from the conference room. You ambushed her, I said. She ambushed you first. Fair's fair. 10 minutes later, Mitchell opened the door. We'd like to continue this conversation at a later date. My client needs time to process this information. That's fine, Frank said. But be aware that we're prepared to file our own petition if necessary. And we will include the recordings as evidence of manipulation and bad faith. We left. In the parking lot, Frank grinned. That went well. Did it? Trust me. Mitchell's scrambling. He didn't know about the recordings. Christine didn't know we'd have proof of Vanessa's interference. They're off balance, which is exactly where we want them. Now what? Now we wait. They'll come back with a more reasonable offer. Or they'll dig in, and we go to court. Either way, you're in a much better position than you were on Thursday. That night, Christine called. Can we talk? Isn't that what lawyers are for? I mean really talk. Just us. Why? Because I think I made a mistake. I said nothing. Can you come to the house? After the kids are asleep? I don't think that's a good idea. Please. I need to explain. Against my better judgment, I agreed. At 9 p.m., I pulled into the driveway of the house I'd lived in for 8 years. The house I'd painted, repaired, improved. The house that suddenly felt foreign. Christine answered the door. She looked tired, vulnerable. Nothing like the confident woman who'd declared me irrelevant. Thank you for coming. I followed her inside. We sat in the living room. The same living room where we'd watched movies, hosted birthday parties, argued about paint colors. I listened to the recording, she said. And I didn't realize how much Vanessa was influencing me. How much she was steering things. Steering things. That's one way to put it. I know you're angry. I'm not angry. I'm hurt. Humiliated. Betrayed. But not angry. She flinched. I didn't mean to humiliate you. You did, though. Publicly. Deliberately. With an audience. Vanessa said it needed to be public. So you couldn't deny it or twist it later. And you believed her? She's been through this. She knows how divorces work. She knows how to destroy people. There's a difference. Christine was quiet for a long moment. I'm starting to see that. What changed? Today? The mediation. When your lawyer showed those recordings and I heard Vanessa's voice, she sounded so cold. So calculating. Like this was a game. It is a game. To her. You're just the pawn. I know that now. But by the time I realized, everything was already in motion. So what do you want from me? She looked up. Her eyes were wet. I want to stop this. Call off the lawyers. Try to fix things. Fix things. Yes. We can go to counseling. Real counseling. Not whatever toxic advice Vanessa's been giving me. We can remember why we fell in love. Why we got married. Why we built this life. Christine, you told me I don't matter. You told me I'm irrelevant. Deadweight. Those words don't just disappear because you changed your mind. I didn't mean them. Yes, you did. Maybe Vanessa planted the seeds, but you watered them. You believed them. You rehearsed them. You said them to my face in front of people I love. I was wrong. Maybe. Or maybe you were honest for the first time in months. She wiped her eyes. So that's it. You're just giving up on us. I'm not giving up. You did that. Last Thursday. At Giuseppe's. When you decided to blow up our marriage publicly instead of talking to me privately. I tried talking to you. No, you didn't. You dropped hints. Made passive-aggressive comments. Expected me to read your mind. But you never sat me down and said, I'm unhappy. We need to change things. You went straight to nuclear. Because I didn't think you'd listen. You didn't give me the chance. We sat in silence. Finally, she said, what happens now? We do what we should have done from the start. We separate cleanly. Share custody fairly. Split assets equitably. And we move on. You really want a divorce? I want to matter to someone. And you've made it clear that's not you anymore. What if I can change? What if I can make you matter again? Christine, I shouldn't have to convince my wife that I'm worth keeping around. That should be a given. She started crying. Full, body-shaking sobs. Part of me wanted to comfort her. Hold her. Tell her it would be okay. But I didn't. Because it wouldn't be okay. Not anymore. I stood up. I'll work with Frank to make this as easy as possible. For everyone. Especially the kids. I'm sorry, she whispered. I know. I left. 3 months later, the divorce was finalized. 50-50 custody. Fair asset split. No alimony either way. Christine kept the house, but bought out my equity. I found a condo closer to downtown. Danny and Sophie adjusted better than I expected. They had their rooms at both places. We established routines. Made it work. Christine cut Vanessa out of her life. Too late to save our marriage, but probably healthy for her in general. Katie and I slowly repaired our relationship. She'd learned a hard lesson about standing up to bullies, even charismatic ones. I stayed at my job. Didn't pursue promotions. But I didn't mind. Work was work. Life was somewhere else. I started dating again after 6 months. Nothing serious. Just rediscovering who I was without Christine's voice in my head telling me who I should be. Sometimes I think about that dinner at Giuseppe's. The moment everything broke. The moment I stopped being invisible and started being absent. And honestly, it was the best thing that could have happened. Because I do matter. Just not to the people who told me I didn't. And that's okay.